You've always sensed it, haven't you? That subtle dissonance between you and the world around you. While others seem to move effortlessly through life's rhythms, you often found yourself observing, questioning, feeling deeply. It wasn't about superiority or inferiority, it was about difference. Carl Jung once said, "The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases." Your path was never meant to be a replica of someone else's. From an early age, you might have noticed that your thoughts wandered into realms others didn't explore. While peers were content with surface-level conversations, you yearned for depth, for discussions about purpose, existence, and the unseen threads that connect us all. This difference wasn't always easy. It might have led to feelings of isolation or misunderstanding, but it also cultivated a rich inner world, a sanctuary where introspection thrived. Jung believed that your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. Embracing your uniqueness means acknowledging the strength it takes to walk a path less traveled. It's about understanding that being different isn't a flaw. It's a testament to your authenticity. So, if you've always felt out of sync with the mainstream, know that this divergence is your compass. It guides you toward a life of depth, meaning, and genuine connection. Embrace it. Let it lead you to your true self. You've probably been told that you're too sensitive, that you read too much into things, that you should toughen up, let things slide, stop feeling so much. But here's the truth. What you carry isn't a weakness. It's a refined awareness. A perception sharpened not by fragility, but by depth. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Your sensitivity is the gift that lets you feel those unconscious layers in others and in yourself. You sense the subtext behind the words, the tension behind the smile, the sadness behind the silence. You don't need proof. You feel it in your body. That's not paranoia. That's intuition. You walk into a room and pick up on energy before anyone speaks. You sense the emotional weather like a storm front approaching. And when something feels off, it's because it probably is. Not everyone can tune into those frequencies, but you can. And for that, you've likely felt misunderstood, or even labeled as dramatic. But what others see as overreaction is often your inner radar screaming, "Something's not right." You don't live on the surface. Your awareness pierces through layers. You notice patterns. You feel people's wounds even when they hide them. That level of perception can be exhausting in a world that worships performance and represses truth. But it also makes you real, profoundly real. Being aware means you can't just accept what you're told. You question, you look deeper, you challenge narratives, you listen not just to words, but to energy. And that makes some people uncomfortable, because most prefer a version of life that stays neat and shallow. But you were never built for shallow. You were made for truth. Jung believed that wholeness requires embracing both light and shadow. You see the shadow in others without judgment. You also face your own. And that's rare. That's powerful. So no, your depth isn't a flaw. Your awareness isn't a burden. It's your compass. It tells you who to trust, what to avoid, where to go. It keeps you aligned when the world tries to pull you off course. And the more you honor it, the more it sharpens. This world needs more people who feel, more people who see, who question, who sense. And that includes you. You're not here to numb out or fit in. You're here to stay awake, stay aware. Because your awareness isn't weakness, it's your quiet superpower. There's something you need to know. Not everyone who turns away from you is rejecting you. Sometimes they're simply retreating from their own reflection. When you walk into a room, you don't just arrive, you shift the air. Not through what you say or how you act, but by what you are. Your presence isn't demanding, it's revealing. And that's what makes people uncomfortable. Carl Jung once said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." You, my friend, are that irritation for many. But not because you're doing anything wrong. It's because you're doing something rare. You're being real. Your authenticity is a mirror, one that doesn't flatter or soften the truth. And when people aren't ready to see themselves clearly, they label the mirror as the threat. It's easier that way, safer. Blame the reflection, not the one looking into it. You've likely noticed how some people become distant, defensive, or even hostile around you, for no apparent reason. They might say you're too intense, too sensitive, too much. But what they're really saying is, "I don't want to feel this much truth." Your energy has a way of pulling masks off, not by force, but by presence. You don't play games, so their games feel out of place. You don't hide, so their hiding feels exposed. You don't pretend, so their performance feels hollow. It's not a choice you make. It's simply who you are. You reflect back what people are trying to escape. Their shame, their guilt, their untended wounds. Not because you point it out, just because you see it. And seeing it makes it real. You weren't born to be easy for everyone to digest. You weren't made to walk on eggshells just to make others feel comfortable in their illusions. You were born to awaken, to call forth, to disturb the slumbering parts of people's souls, whether they're ready or not. And yes, that means you will be misunderstood. You will be judged by those who judge themselves. You will be rejected by those still rejecting their own truth. But don't let that make you doubt your light. Don't shrink to fit into someone else's limited vision. Jung also said, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." You are the trigger for that awakening. You help people look within, not always gently, but necessarily. So when someone lashes out, or withdraws, or projects their shadows onto you, remember this: it's not about you. It's about what they're not yet ready to face. You're not here to fix them. You're not here to absorb their pain. You're just here to hold your mirror with love, without apology. Some will look away. Let them. Some will blame you. Forgive them. But a few, the brave ones, will meet your gaze. They will see themselves, maybe for the first time, and they will thank you without words. That's your impact. Quiet, deep, unmistakable. You are not a threat. You are a mirror. And your reflection is the truth that heals, even when it first hurts. Have you ever felt like you were the only one walking this path? Like no one around you truly gets the way you experience the world? This feeling of solitude can be crushing. But here's a truth you might not have heard enough. You are not alone. You are rare. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." That journey, the one of uncovering your authentic self, often feels isolating because it pulls you away from the common crowd. While others chase comfort in conformity, you are called toward depth and truth, toward the raw and unfiltered reality that many shy away from. And that is precisely why you feel apart. Not because you are broken or strange, but because you are evolving beyond the ordinary. Being rare doesn't mean being lonely. It means being distinct, like a rare gem that doesn't try to blend with the stones around it. It means your energy resonates on a frequency that only a few can hear and match. This rarity is a blessing, even if it feels like a burden sometimes. It means your spirit is awake, and that awareness separates you from the noise and superficiality of the world. You might have noticed how many people wear masks, smiles that don't reach the eyes, words that don't reflect the heart. You see beyond those masks, and that kind of seeing can make you feel alienated because it reveals how many are hiding from their own truths. Jung called this the shadow, the parts of ourselves we refuse to face. When you live with clarity, you naturally become a mirror for others' shadows. But instead of isolating you, this is your invitation to find the few souls brave enough to step into the light alongside you. Imagine your life as a tribe waiting to be found. In a sea of superficial connections, you are searching for those who speak the language of the soul, those who understand the unspoken, who honor vulnerability, who crave the kind of truth you carry. When you find them, you don't just connect, you come home. This feeling of being rare is not a curse. It's a call to keep walking your path, even when it feels like no one else is on it. Because the very fact that you feel this way means you are evolving, growing beyond the limitations others accept. As Jung taught us, your vision will become clear only when you look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. So, when you feel alone, remember you are not alone. You are rare, and your rarity is what makes you powerful. You are part of a small, beautiful group of souls who refuse to settle for anything less than real. And that is something worth honoring every single day. Have you ever noticed how sometimes saying nothing can speak louder than 1,000 words? Your silence is not emptiness. It's power. It's presence. While the world rushes to fill every moment with noise, with chatter, with distractions, you understand something deeper, that silence carries its own weight, its own message. Carl Jung once said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." And silence is where that acceptance lives. It's the space where you don't have to perform, explain, or justify yourself. It's the place where your energy, calm and steady, speaks for you without needing to shout. When you enter a room and don't say a word, your silence can be unsettling for others. Why? Because it confronts them with their own noise, their own fears, their own masks. People fill silence with words to cover up what they don't want to face. But you have learned the strength of stillness. Your silence is active, not passive. It listens, it observes, it holds space for truth. You don't need to be loud to be heard. Your presence already fills the room. Your energy sets the tone. And that terrifies many because silence exposes them. It reveals insecurities, pretenses, and hidden turmoil. They might mistake your quiet for arrogance or distance, but really, it's mastery. Mastery over the need for validation, over the urge to control the narrative. Jung said, "Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people." Your silence shows you have looked inward, that you've faced your shadows. That kind of inner peace doesn't need to scream to be powerful. It simply is. You don't need to argue, to prove, or to compete for attention. Your silence carries the weight of authenticity, the deep knowing that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's approval. In a noisy world, that makes you rare. It makes you a lighthouse. So next time you feel pressured to fill the silence, remember, your quiet is a force. It invites others to slow down, to reflect, to meet you where you are. Real, grounded, unshaken. In your silence, you don't just exist. You resonate. You lead. You heal. Because sometimes, The loudest roar comes not from words, but from the calm and steady silence of someone who has found themselves. Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, you just don't fit in? Like your presence stirs something uncomfortable in others, even if you haven't said a word? That's because you're not here to blend in. You're here to wake people up. Carl Jung once said, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes." You don't exist to please others or to smooth over uncomfortable truths. You exist to challenge illusions, to shake the foundations that have been built on falsehoods, and to call the soul back to its true home. Your energy doesn't shout. It disrupts quietly but powerfully. It unsettles the fake smiles, the hollow conversations, the masks everyone wears to hide their real selves. You don't have to point it out. Just by being yourself, you expose what's false. And that can be scary for those who are still clinging to their comfort zones and lies. Some people will love you for your raw honesty, your refusal to play games, your courage to be real. Others will recoil because you make them confront shadows they've been avoiding their whole lives. You become a mirror, reflecting their truths back to them, whether they're ready to see it or not. This isn't about you trying to make waves or cause conflict. It's about your natural frequency disrupting the status quo, because the status quo thrives on silence and complicity. Your presence is a call to transformation, even if that transformation starts with discomfort. So, don't apologize for being intense, for speaking truths that others might not want to hear, or for not shrinking yourself to fit into smaller spaces. You weren't made to be liked by everyone. You were made to be real, raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically you. And that is exactly the kind of energy this world needs more of. People who don't settle for surface-level harmony but demand depth, authenticity, and courage. You are part of that awakening. You are part of the shift. Remember, Jung also said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." So choose to be the light that disturbs, that awakens, that transforms. Choose to stand in your truth, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it means some will walk away. Because those who are ready will come closer. They will recognize your fire. They will feel safe to drop their masks. They will rise with you. You're not here to be liked. You're here to awaken. And that's a powerful, beautiful mission. If this message hit home for you, make sure to stick around. There's so much more ahead, and I'd love for you to be part of this journey. Subscribe to the channel and check out the next videos. We're building a space where realness thrives, and your energy is never alone. Thanks for being here. Let's keep rising together.